today's class, we are going to look at pagination, a React component, how to paginate our table, how to create, let me just say it, how to create a pagination component in React. So I will first of all log in to admin dashboard, because that's where we are going to be creating our users table. Okay, so I go over to users. You can see this table here being is a movie: Terminator, Die Hard, Get Out, Trip to Italy, Airplane, Wedding Crashers, Conga. These are the names of movies, the genre, the stock in the market, and their rating. So it's a movie table. So what we are going to achieve is how to can paginate this table into different pages instead of just leaving it long. Assuming this list of movies now are over 100, you wouldn't want to display everything, making the user to scroll. So instead, you can just paginate the table into different pages so that user can just navigate. So in order to achieve our pagination, we are first going to, inside our admin folder, I created a component. One is the table component, where I was able to fetch, like, the movies are just a DB data I created. So what I just did was just displaying those movies inside our table from the users page. You can see I imported the get movies from my DB. I imported my table component I created. I set the movies. I created a use state whereby I set movie to get movies. So I just passing the movies.movie as a prop into our table. Then in our table page, I just loop through the list of movies, and we are able to achieve this. So now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to create our pagination component. So I've already done that because I was trying to see a way which I can avoid network interrupting us. So what I just did is inside our pagination component, I destructured the props which I'll be passing to this pagination component from this user's page. So I destructure our total page, page size, current page, and on-page change. So in our users table, I will just import the pagination component, and then in our pagination component now, what do we need? We need the length of the movies in the array. You can see here the movies are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 movies. So we need the length of the movies. Then we also need to do what? Because this is a component, I don't want any action to be performed inside of it. So I want all my actions to be performed inside my user's page. All I just want is just passing those data as a prop to my pagination component. So that's why you can see I pass movie.length, I pass page size, current page, and then the function. So what I just did, I created a hook for page size, setting it to 3 because we want our pagination, our pages to be into 3. You can decide to make it 4, you can decide to make it 6, depending on how many pages you want, or depending the numbers of items you want to display per page in your table. You can see the current page means the current page at your viewport where you are seeing, and then our handle pagination that sets our current page. So this is just all we need here. So I passed the movie length, I passed the page size, I passed the current page, and the function that sets the current page. Then, so what I did now is in my pagination component, I get the total pages, which is this total page that is sent to the length of the movie. Now, you can see this is a destructuring. Instead of me saying props dots, so I just destructure it to avoid using prop dots, total page, prop dot this. So I just destructure it to get the particular things I want from the prop. So so this is our total page, our page size, which is what I passed here. Current page and on the function. So first of all, what we need to do here is the first thing we need to do is in order to share this total page by the number of pages we want, which is 3. You can see the page size is 3. What we need to do is what? We created a new constant variable as count, saying total page divide by page size. Now, this will return a number that isn't a random number. It's so in order to, like, let me just show you guys why I use that maths.cell. Okay, here, let me make, because I made it 3. So now let me make it 4. Because now, why it return 3 is because if you divide these pages now, you can see 3 into 3 places will give you 9, and which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will give you 9. So it's a whole number we are getting. Let me just say it. But now, assuming it was 4, you see that it can be able to divide these pages, this 9 item, into 4 pages. Instead, it will be giving you a figure like this, which doesn't really make sense. So in order to avoid such thing, all you need to do is to round up this number in order for us to get a whole number. That's why I use this maths.cell. Now, if I console.log this, and go back, you can see it's still giving us 3 pages instead of the other figure we got. So that is the essence of maths.cell. You can Google about it and know more about it to know how you can use it in your codes and so on. So after that, the next thing we need to do again is we check if count, which is now, let's say the value from here is equals to 1. Now let's say if the page count now, assuming it was just 3 items we have on this table, display the pagination no, because since we just have a single page, we don't want the pagination to appear. No, let me not comment that. So that is this check that I did here. I said if the total pages is 1, it doesn't have multiple pages, display the pagination no. But if it is not, show it. So that is the essence of this if check I did here. So the next thing we did is we created an array of numbers using, now you see this load dash. This is a JavaScript library, like if I should say, it has a lot of methods you can use for it. It helps you to how will I call it? Gives you a lot of JavaScript methods which you can use in calculating your numbers and other stuff. So what this? So I just give it. You can decide to name your own. You can decide to give your own a name. It still works, but I just use that underscore for just uniqueness. That's why I just use this underscore here, but it doesn't really mean anything. So what brain does, just creates an array of numbers from our words count, from our total page. That is what this does. So what we just need to do is what? We loop through that numbers. You can see looping through the numbers. Then I now set the current page. This is a styling which to know the actual page you are in. Like now, if you notice that when you go to a table that is paginated, each page you click is being highlighted. It has a different color from other one, telling you that, okay, this is the current page you are viewing. So I just say if page is equals to current page. That is, if the page item you are viewing at that particular moment is equals to the current page, give it this style active. This is a Bootstrap class. I installed Bootstrap on the project. So this active now has a blue color. S, just don't do anything, just leave it like that. Then you what? You display our page. So now the unchanged function I did, all this does is just get the current page. Get the page which we are viewing and set it back to what? And set it to the current page. That's why what the value of the current page and the value of page is always the same, because what? You are taking the value of page, passing it to this function, and then setting it to our current page, making them to be the same thing. Now, if I check on our page now, you see that our items are now 3. That means this whole movie can be shared into 3 pages. You can see each of them I click is being highlighted, telling me, okay, you are currently on page 1, you are currently on page 2, and currently. But note, the movies are not changing. That's because we haven't actually sliced these items by what? The page size, which we want it to be. So the next thing we need to do is I created a utility file. What this utility file basically means, you can not only use it only for your pagination, you can decide to still use it in other things you want to do if you are still trying to achieve the same calculation. So that is the essence of this utility file which I created here. So what is basically happening here is, after I created the utility file, I imported it here. Then I created a new variable called movie. I set the movie to be our paginate utility file, passing it a parameter. You can see this is a function that takes in parameter. The movies, which is our list of movie, the current page, and the page size. You can see it takes this value from the user. And what it does is, now I created another variable saying start index. So and I said, if page number minus 1 times page size, set the index of that page. That is basically what I mean, start the index from that number. So this is basically what this first line is saying. Then this slice and this take and this value are all lodash method. What it says is slice the index, taking the page size, and then return the value. But now we pass in our item because we are doing what? Starting the index and again getting it from our item, because whatever start index you want, you have to check for that index inside your list of items. Then you take it and then returns the value. So that is basically what is happening here. If we save our code now, go back to our pagination table, nothing is still happening. That's because we haven't what? Instead of we now fetching data from the get movies function directly, all we need to do now is we have to now take this variable, because now what this variable now returns is now the number of movies on that particular page, on that current page which we are viewing. So now if you take this movie and pass it to tables and save, you can see that our movies are now just 3 items per page. If I click on page 2, it fetches all the items on that page 2 and displays for it. If I click on page 3, it fetches. Now, if I don't want it to be 4 items per page, I can say let it be 3. Now, if I click on, you can see just 3 items on this page. If I go 3 items, 3 items. So this is basically how to create a pagination component. It might not only be for tables, it might be for, like, let's say for images, list of images. You want to just display 5 images on a stretch, then allow the user to click on different pages to see other images, because fetching every images at once can cause a slowdown of network, because most images are very heavy. So you will want to avoid that. That's why you have to now create a pagination component in order to partition your movies into page by page, depending on the numbers of items you want the person to view. Assuming now, let's say, okay, we have a delete function now, and we are able to delete all the movies here. You can see that this item here, this pagination won't be enough. So now, let me just say, let me go to my DB now. Let me show you guys something. Now, inside my DB, my movies. Let's say I comment this one as leaving just 2. Now, you can see our pagination is out because the numbers of the movies we have is not equal to the page size I want. If I should make this one now, our pagination is out again. So that is the whole concept of pagination. Any question? Do you guys hear me at all?
We can hear you clearly.
I said any question? So you guys understand the pagination? Or you guys are confused? Which one?
I think it's understood, so there's no need. You can just carry on.
Okay then, so for the pagination, this is the end of it. So on the next class, what we'll now be looking at is how to sort these tables by comedy, by theory, by actions, or by title, or by stock, or by rate. That is the next thing we are going to look at, how to sort your table. So that's all for today. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Frank, can you tell Ike to stop the live? Am I the one?
Yeah, I think you're the one who's going to stop that. You're the host.
Okay, so where am I going to stop this thing today? Is it on this stop share or where?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, please. I want to ask if I can still submit my task. I've been having power issues and figuring out the functionalities, but I'm almost done now, just designing. Can I
No
still
problem.
submit like today? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can submit.
Thank you.